The air in Maine doesn't just feel cold. It feels heavy, like it's holding on to secrets from 100 years ago. When my family pulled up to that massive white house with the forest green shutters, I felt a knot tighten in my stomach. It looked like a tomb disguised as a mansion. I was 18, stubborn and obsessed with my phone. My brother Jake was only 10. We were worlds apart. While he saw an adventure in the maze-like hallways of that house, I only saw a prison where I couldn't get a decent Wi-Fi signal to text my girlfriend, Danny, the strange neighbor. The owner, Hugh, lived in the adjoining part of the house. He was the kind of person who smiled too much, so much that his yellow teeth seemed to be a warning rather than a welcome. "The door in the back hallway stays locked," Hugh told my father, his voice a raspy rattle. "Folks in Maine value their privacy. You stay on your side, I stay on mine." My dad nodded, appreciative of the privacy. But I noticed something. Hugh wasn't looking at my dad. He was staring at Jake. The choice. The second morning, the fog was so thick you couldn't see the trees 10 feet from the porch. My parents wanted to go on a coastal hike. "I'm staying," I snapped, not looking up from my screen. "I have a headache." "Fine," my mom sighed, exhausted by my attitude. "But watch Jake, he's been having nightmares about the hallways." "Don't leave him alone." I waved them off. I wanted to FaceTime Danny. I wanted to be anywhere but here. As the van's taillights disappeared into the mist, I felt a wave of relief. Finally, silence. The curiosity. Jake was in the living room, playing with his toy cars. I went to my room to talk to Danny. I was showing her the weird layout of the room when she dared me to check the forbidden door at the end of my hallway. "It's probably just a closet," I scoffed. I walked over, fully expecting it to be locked. It creaked open. Behind it wasn't Hugh's living room. It was a dark, narrow corridor that smelled of damp earth and old copper. I stepped inside, the glow of my phone illuminating peeling wallpaper. I heard a thud from deep within the house, Hugh's side. I panicked and retreated, slamming the door and sliding a heavy wooden chair against it. The silence. An hour passed. I got caught up in a movie on my laptop, headphones at full volume. I completely forgot about Jake. I completely forgot I wasn't alone. Suddenly the power flickered and died. The silence that followed was deafening. "Jake," I called out, no answer. I walked into the living room. His toy cars were scattered on the rug, but the room was empty. The front door was still locked from the inside. "Jake, this isn't funny." I headed toward my bedroom. That's when I saw it. The wooden chair I had placed against the secret door was lying on its side. The door was wide open. The shadow in the hallway. My heart hammered against my ribs like a trapped bird. I stepped into the dark corridor, my phone's flashlight trembling in my hand. "Jake, are you in here?" I followed the sound of a faint rhythmic scratching. It led to a small hidden room behind the walls of my own bedroom. I pushed the door open. It wasn't a room. It was a nest. There were photos of us pinned to the studs, photos taken from inside the house. There was a pile of old clothes, a half-eaten sandwich, and Jake's favorite teddy bear sitting in the center of a dirty mattress. Then I heard a voice. It wasn't Hugh's. It was low, gravelly, and it came from the ceiling. I liked the way he looked when he slept. I looked up. Tucked into the rafters was a man. He was tall, gaunt, and completely bald. He was wearing a backpack, the same one I thought belonged to Hugh. He wasn't looking at me. He was looking at the vent that led directly into the living room. The escape. I didn't scream. I couldn't. I ran back into the hallway screaming Jake's name. I found him hiding in the kitchen pantry, his eyes wide with terror. He was standing over me, Hamza. Jake whispered, his voice trembling. "When you were in your room, he was just standing there watching me play." I grabbed Jake's hand and bolted for the front door. But a heavy thud landed in the hallway behind us. The man had dropped from the ceiling. He didn't run. He just stood there tilting his head, a sickeningly calm expression on his face. We burst through the front door just as my dad's van pulled into the gravel driveway. The aftermath. When the police arrived, they found the backpack in the secret room. Inside were rolls of duct tape, a camera, and a collection of keys that fit every door in the house, including the ones we thought were locked. The man was gone. He had vanished into the Maine woods, a wilderness so vast that 1,000 men could hide and never be found. The police told us Hugh had no idea the man was there. They believed the intruder had been living in the crawl spaces of that house for months, moving between the walls like a ghost. I haven't been able to sleep in total silence since that trip. Every time I hear a creak in the floorboards or a scratch in the wall, I think of that man in the rafters. I think of how I ignored my brother for a phone screen. I should have never left him alone, because while I was looking at a screen, someone else was looking at him.